How you doing this evening?
I'm good. I'm good, Dave. And you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having some patience with me. 5 or 10 minutes before the interview, everything just sort of went down for me, so I had to scramble to get it back up on the air.
Actually, my one of my cats had pulled the camera cable. That's why you couldn't see me. And I was like, okay, why I'm black?
All right, are you ready to get started?
Yes, of course.
All right. Well, first of all, welcome to DaBelly. I appreciate you taking a moment with us today. For everybody at home, we're speaking to Miss Maxi Nil from Jaded Star. Welcome.
Thank you, Dave. It's a pleasure. And I really, I'm really enjoying, the Zoom meetings, although I'm kind of used to it right now with all the restrictions and everything.
Yeah.
So it feels like we're getting closer at some point.
You get more and more accustomed to these, what start out to be very odd meetings.
Yes, indeed. But yeah, what can we do? It is what it is, right?
Exactly. What prompted this interview was, of course, your release of the video, Adrian. I'd like to hear all about it. Tell me, it's from, of course, the album Realign, and I just want to hear more.
Well, we released the album the exact day that the second lockdown started. So we weren't really able to play the songs live and do a proper release party, So at some point, because the restrictions were like continuing and tours were canceled and everything, at some point we said, okay, let's book a venue and let's play a few songs live so that we can actually feel that we're doing a live show and actually for people to see how we look and sound live, because okay, the video clips are a good, presentation of the band, but I think that the live show is what the band is really all about.
I completely agree with you. I mean, the audience doesn't necessarily pay to see the video; they pay to see you guys. They want to see you climb on stage and just sort of interact and have fun.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So yeah, it was we picked 4 songs out of the album. We have released 3 so far. We're gonna release the last one in January, and well, Adrian is one of our favorite songs of the album, and it's a very powerful song. And it was one of the songs that was not a single. So yeah, we wanted to be the first thing. We wanted to be a new song released, even though it was the live version of it.
Completely understand. I mean, the song Adrian has such a groove to it, such a kind of a dance or a bounce to it. It's fun to listen to, and it's good to see you guys on stages having fun playing it.
Yeah, thank you. It was really fun, although we really wanted to have, an audience or at least some friends, but that was not possible. So yeah, we hope everybody enjoyed it and still does. And we really cannot wait to hit the road at some point.
Well, we'll get to that a little later on in the interview. I was going to ask about that, but we'll catch up with that in a little bit. Sure. So the songs on this album on Realign are certainly heavier than your first record, Memories from the Future. Yeah. Intentional or just sort of the evolution of the time between, or how did that come about?
First of all, we've changed all the members. So we had to. I mean, I needed to find people really close to our hometown, because we were like, the guitar player was living 600 kilometers away. The drummer was in Italy. So it made it very hard in times to work all together and to be able to deliver. So yeah, at some point we said, okay, we're still friends. We love each other anyway. This will never change. But I needed to see the better future for the band. So yeah, since we've changed all members but me, the sound, it didn't have to change, but it's normal. I think every new member is adding his or her own character in the band. So it was kind of necessary.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Now, in prep for this interview, I read something that it made me scratch my head. It's 2021, and I read that you recorded this record completely analog.
Yes. Yes, we did.
First of all, where
Yes.
did you find the equipment?
Yeah. Well, our sound guy is a real nerd when it comes to, the sound. So he had to find this console, like it was from 1967 or something.
Yeah.
And there are very few of those consoles left anyway in the world. To be honest, I prefer the analog sound. It's more alive in my ears. And the procedure, I mean, the whole process of recording it and actually having the mix open, and you couldn't even touch everything because there is no save. There is not in the box things. And then, when you record it afterwards on film, it was even more magical what this does to the sound. And I really believe that although we are on 22 in 2021, almost 22 now, I think that there are more bands that are actually choosing the analog sound. This is what I see from my,
There's
really
always that
often.
retro vibe that comes along. Everybody says, I'm going to go old school with this. I'm going to release all vinyl or whatever it is, but
Yes, and
analog,
even
wow.
cassettes. I mean,
Yes, yes.
cassettes are also available now. Yeah, who would
Soon
have
we'll,
thought?
soon we'll have the 8 tracks out again.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
There must have posed some challenges. I mean, editing alone, most everybody today is, of course, interested or is accustomed to the magic that is digital. It's so easy to edit something, and analog is a completely different animal. Did you spend more time in the studio as far as the mix?
Yes, the recording and the mix, of course, they take more when you go analog because there is no, oh, it's okay. We're gonna fix it. We're gonna edit it. We're gonna cut it. No. This is not really possible. So first of all, you have to be really well rehearsed,
Yeah,
really good on your instrument. You know how it is. I
it
mean,
makes a big difference.
yes, and it was kind of we were kind of challenging ourselves to be better at what we do, and this also made us better as a live band.
Yeah, as you said, more rehearsed and better as a musician. Obviously, you guys have to be nearby, and given the state of the world today, that must have been a challenge. Everybody getting together and actually rehearsing, getting into that one room vibe and going.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
And the fact that we live close to each other, and the studio is actually the studio of our keyboard player. It's kind of our studio. So yeah, we spend a lot of time. It was like a second home.
no, I completely understand. Um, Prior to this band, you spent some time in. Forgive me, I'm going through my notes while you adjust.
No problem at all. I'm trying to control my cat with great failure.
So prior to this band, you spent some time in Visions of Atlantis. You did a couple of albums with them, and when that all sort of went away, you
Mhm.
immediately announced Jaded Star. It's like you had this vision. I think it's not uncommon with musicians, this vision of what they want to be when they theoretically grow up, right?
Yeah.
You talk about that process of having and owning the band. I don't mean ownership in the sense of the legal terms, but bringing your vision to the world.
First of all, around my second or third year with Visions of Atlantis, I had the need to create something on my own and to play the music that I really, really loved. And of course, I had a lot of fun with Visions. But as I grew up, yes, I realized that symphonic metal is not exactly my thing. I'm more into modern stuff and melodic and drop downs and stuff like this. So at some point, yeah, I've started writing songs and just keeping them in the computer, thinking about, what I could do with them. And I was thinking of having a project. But as time went by and things with visions had to end, I said, hey, I'm going to make this a band. I
Sort
mean,
of
this
fell
is
into
what
your
I
lap.
always,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, this is what I always wanted. So it was kind of, it came so natural. Of course, creating a band from scratch, because in Visions of Atlantis, everything was done for me. You know, I didn't have to do almost anything besides learning the songs and singing them well. And yeah, of course, I wrote 2 songs on the latest album, Ethera. But before that, it was everything was already written and scheduled and everything. So with Jaded, it was challenging in a way, but I kind of knew what to do. You know, I had the plan like really on a piece of paper, the first step, second, third, and yeah.
And here
Ta-da.
you are today. It worked out very well.
Yes,
So you have
with a
such a
big break though.
you have such a big voice, and obviously, as you mentioned, you've done a few different styles as far as performing. How do you approach your songs with such a large range and ability? Do you sort of change things up, or do you ever decide just to change things up? I'm gonna try this very differently this time. Kind of that perspective.
Yeah, actually, yeah. Especially in the second album, I really wanted to try new things, some brutal vocals, some high range, you know, beltings that we say in the singing terms. Um, then I wanted to add, you know, I think I did almost everything in Realign.
Mm.
Everything that I know so far, I think it's there
No,
when
it's
it comes to
it's
the vocals. Yeah.
it's beautiful to have that opportunity to be able to just spread your wings and not worry about being caged, if you will.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. But as in Adrian, in the song Adrian, the price we pay in order to be free. You see? So
Absolutely. Absolutely.
yeah, it is a price that I had to pay to start all over again and make everything by myself. But I'm happy, which is
So much of the lyrics on this record, you seem to, as much as I read and as much as I get from the lyrics, you seem to write about the things that are around you. You're influenced by your surroundings and you sort of present them through your music.
yeah,
Um,
that's true.
yeah, talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I was never into concept albums, although there are many albums that I like. I never felt the need to do so. I always wanted to write about it. It was like it is, it still is like my diary, you know. I write my thoughts, my problems, you know. So it's like Pain on Mind says, and nobody knows it, but now everybody knows it. So it's okay. I mean, it's therapeutic to me. You know, it's therapeutic. How do you say, right?
Yes.
To me, and the whole process. And I think that I write in a simple way so that almost everybody can relate, even though with a different story. You know, everybody has a story to tell. And things that keep him up at night, and you know, agonies and everything. So I'm trying, you know, to make people relate.
Well, I think you're accomplishing that very well.
Thank you. Thank you. I
Um,
really hope so.
so as you mentioned, 3 singles out, female fronted, A Pain All Mine, Adrian. What's the 4th single going to be? Can you share that?
We have another one. We have Breathing Fire,
Oh, that's right.
which came out, and the other one, it's gonna be released probably before New Year's Eve. It's gonna be Children of Chaos.
There you go.
Yes, and it's a song that actually we're really waiting to play live because it's a sing along song. It has, you know, a lot of hey hey for the people to sing to, and yeah, we can wait.
Well, speaking of live, as I said earlier, let's talk a little bit about touring. I suspect you won't be doing much the rest of this year. We're right at the end of the year.
No,
What are
I
we
mean we
looking
had
at?
yeah, we had scheduled like two tours that got canceled last year. So we were
Right.
like, okay, uh let's see what happens. For now we have booked a few shows in spring. But yeah, I don't think that before 2022 there gonna be any live shows for us. But it's okay.
All right. You're
It's the
first
current
exploring
situation and we dance along.
opportunities will certainly be there.
Yeah,
Uh,
I'm pretty sure.
yeah. Now we're hoping that you have a chance to make it to North America and, do some of the tour here.
We would love to, because actually most of our Spotify listeners are from North America. And it's pretty
Ah,
surprising. Yeah, because as Europeans we would think that, yeah, probably Germany or Central Europe in general. But yeah, North America is number one listener on Spotify.
I see an
So
opportunity
yeah,
in your future.
yes, I would really love to visit the US, man. And we have so
Okay.
many friends there. Yeah.
Well, perfect. Well, that's all the questions I have today. What have I missed? What else do you want to talk about?
What I really want to add
Yeah.
is the following, that I really hope that people can understand how important it is for an artist to actually purchase the physical copies and merchandise from the band. And it's the only income, for example, that a musician can have in days like this. Plus, you're giving hope to the artist, because digital sales are a ripoff, to be honest. And I really feel the need to share this with the people, with our listeners or readers, because yeah, it is what it is, and physical will always remain the real thing.
I echo your sentiment completely. As you can tell, I've been around for a couple of years and remember the days when physical sales were at least half of the income for the bands. And unfortunately, in
Exactly.
times like today where the bands aren't able to tour, it becomes everything.
Exactly. And as I told you, digital sales, they are like almost nothing. And Spotify and all the streaming platforms are also a ripoff.
Yeah, no, I get it. I totally get it. And, that opportunity for you guys to sell has got to be there. And I
Yes.
certainly hope that everybody watching is going to take that opportunity to catch up on your music and, pick up an album.
Really hope so. Really hope so. And we really cannot wait to hit the road.
Oh, we're looking forward to it. North
Yeah.
America is going to be fun.
Yes, I know.
All right. Well, thank you for your time today. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Dave. It's been a pleasure.
All right.
And yeah, we'll be in touch.
Have a
Thank
good
you.
one, Maxi. Thank you.
Thanks so much. Bye.
Bye.